This ceiling is still missing something. So, let's push the button. Hi, I'm Borkon. Glad to have you here. Welcome back to the K Factory. And yes, this is the most laggy intro I have ever recorded. To be honest, I don't even know if it will record correctly because of how horrible the performance is right now. But yeah, I am fixing up the ceiling. And we're gonna fill it in with blocks so that the sea lanterns are not sticking out that much. I'll see you after it's done because the lag here is absolutely horrendous. This is actually pretty impressive. So apparently I ran out of materials. I miscalculated how much I would need of all the materials, which is weird, but we're gonna get into that in a second because I want to show you something. This is my performance graph. I'm having average 800 millisecond ticks. What I'm assuming is happening is that every 320 deployers that is on top of this machine is on every tick looking through every 320 barrels. And it's not just that, they're probably looking through every single slot in every single barrel because that's how inventory management in Minecraft works. So this is what happens to the performance of Minecraft when you have 320 deployers looking through, how much would it be? 300, it's about 30 times 300, so 10,000 slots every tick. I think the machine has finished now, right? Yeah, and the performance is just back to from insanity to completely perfectly normal. I don't know why I miscalculated the amount of materials I needed. So this arm is 320 blocks long, right? So I calculated that this is 640 by 640 if it was a square. Did I do a mistake there? No. So that is about 400,000 blocks. And then I just divided, like, this is the distribution of materials I was supposed to be using. I'm just flying here to see if the chunks are yeah, everything here was correctly painted. So how did I make this a mistake? Where did I go wrong here? Because like it seems like around a quarter, like because I had a margin of error in the amount of materials, and I just guess I miscalculated by a quarter somehow. Don't know why. Let's fix it. It's not a big deal to fix it. I can just refill the barrels and run this thing once again, and it should be just fine. A little bit laggy when I'm flying around here. But yeah, everything worked except I ran out of materials. So look at the bits where I didn't run out of materials. I should have had twice as many shroom lights now that I'm looking at this like this. But it's not bad. I like it. It's kind of trippy, but yeah, it's a good look. Right. Oh, by the way, I have the arrows on me because I just had a raid on my colony here, and I fought the raid off. Well, not just me, but me and 32 of my guards joined me on an epic fight with barbarians. Happens all the time, by the way, in colonies. But today is also not about colonies. That's probably going to be the next episode because this place is still not finished. But I realized what the problem was with running out of the materials. The short version of the story is that I forgot to multiply by 2 in one point. That's it. So everything that was done after, like after this half, is basically the margin of error I had in the amount of materials I needed. So you can see that I had a huge margin of error, but it wasn't big enough to be twice as much. I was just about to start this machine and just show you the finished result, but I realized there is a problem. Look at the gold here. I think the gold here is the best example. See how the gold line, or maybe this gold line is even better. See how it suddenly is much thicker, right? Compare it to that side, it is usually just one wide, and when the gold bits connect, they only connect on a corner. They don't connect orthogonally. They connect orthogonally in a few places, but in most places they don't. And the same thing with this thin line here. It only connects orthogonally in very few places, but usually it just connects to other blocks diagonally. And compare it to this. Here the gold blocks connect orthogonally pretty much everywhere. And this is because I suspect this is how... Why did my archer just die? What's on fire? Why was he on fire? There is nothing burning anywhere. How did my archer burn? That's another problem with doing things in the colony here. Things happen all the time, and I have to react, and I get interrupted in the things I'm trying to explain to you. What was I saying? Yes. So the gold blocks here are connecting orthogonally to each other, and the line basically ends up being just thicker, because normally, like the deployers, right? They're just deployers like all over the bar here, and I'm assuming that basically, for example, this block here was supposed to be Blackstone because that deployer would have placed it first. So I need to basically just cut off all the blocks here that aren't correct, so it will be a lot of gold, a lot of the scoria here is probably also, yeah, the scoria here definitely, like this block here definitely needs to be Blackstone, and it isn't, right? And there are probably a bunch of others, so I need to trim this. This was supposed to be just a quick intro thing, and we would move on to our main project, but I'm a magnet for problems, and I like them, so I shouldn't complain too much. But sometimes I just want to get things done, and instead I run into some new fun problem again. But let's solve it. Let's solve it and place the last blocks, because it shouldn't be too hard. So, especially now that I have vein mining, I can definitely clean up most of this gold quite quickly. Alright, so I cleaned up whatever needed to be cleaned up there. I think I got most of the stuff. I got distracted by my university because they needed research, and it's time to start this. But I'm gonna start it without using the sequence gear shift, and I will just let this whole thing spin multiple times, because I just remembered, like, the reason why we have this dark gap here, right? Because the deployers are missing one block when they are spinning a whole circle with the sequence gear shift. So I'm just gonna let it spin until it is completely done. There we go. And did it start? Yeah. So right now there shouldn't be much lag, because like the only lag should be just from graphically updating this. But as soon as this thing starts placing blocks, the performance should basically start breaking down. All right, I think it is done completely. I don't think anything is missing. We just have chunks here that haven't updated graphically, but as soon as I fly here, everything should look okay. Let me just go down on the ground, because it might be easier to see. Oh, why is... There's one block missing here. Why is there one block missing here? The arm should arrive here soon. No, I didn't run out of materials, right? No, I didn't. Is there just some blocks that are inherently... Oh, look, there is not just one block missing here. There is a lot of blocks missing here. Okay, so now we can actually see why the pattern was the way it was when I was drilling here. I guess I know exactly what I did wrong. I think I didn't divide the speed of the arm by 4. I think that is the problem. Let me just double check the theory here. So, this one is on and that one is off. Yes, okay. Let's just stop it aggressively, like that. It is there, okay. So now if I flip this switch here, and we can restart it again. Now it should be running at half the speed, and is it? I think it is. The holes started here, so I should see the holes getting plugged by this sweep. Just making sure that everything is working correctly. Yeah, it is working just the way I thought it would. We always have some bugs, but most of them are fixable. This is looking good. And it is not as regular here in like at 45 degrees from the middle rather than like at straight angles from the middle. And that is kind of expected because it's not exactly clear to me which deployer will touch the block first. Like you can see the gold here is kind of wonky. And it's not just because this part was the one where the blocks were missing. Because if I fly over here, for example, I'm pretty sure at 45-degree angle-ish, we will also see a little bit wonky. Yeah, there is wonkiness at the gold blocks right here, or especially visible here. I'm not unhappy about that. It's fine. Like not everything has to be placed perfectly, and it actually makes it a little bit interesting. Just checking here. Yeah. And the blocks here are getting filled in as well. I'm gonna let it spin a few... No, it actually doesn't matter if I let it spin a few times or not. This one is placing the blocks reliably and will be doing it on every spin. With different speeds, like if you haven't seen the episode where I dug this out and found out how this... Well, I didn't found out why this works, but how it can be done. If you set the rotation speed to some weird numbers... it will be placing or drilling different blocks on different spins. But with this speed, with 1 RPM, or actually, in this case, it's a quarter RPM, because I divide the spinning speed by 4. So at quarter RPM, it is perfectly reliable and touches the exact same blocks on every rotation. Anyway, yes, we are done here. Let me just turn this off, and actually, I probably need to go to sleep because my colonists need to sleep. And let's go back to base and work on today's project. And what I want to start working on today is the challenge that is this one, creative capacitor. I want to start making a creative capacitor, and the way we make it is, like, it seems simple, right? It's an HV capacitor with 4 of those things, and then you can just think, oh, how hard could that be? Well, so to craft an ultimate catalyst, we need 80, I think, because so this is 9x9, so we need 80 capacitors and 1 ultimate component. And the capacitors, it's not showing it here, but the capacitors have to be fully charged. And the ultimate component, I have already prepared the ultimate ingots a couple of episodes ago, so that shouldn't be a problem. Well, we can get at least 32 of them because I have a stack of ultimate ingots. So that shouldn't be a problem. The big problem will be the capacitors. And basically, we need to figure out, how do I charge capacitors? Let's just go down to my storage room. I don't think I'm going to be doing it here, but I kind of want to experiment a little bit here. And we have a capacitor here, right? I can charge it relatively easily by just adding a flux point, because all my power goes into my flux network, so this should charge, right? Yeah, it's not particularly fast, but I guess, I don't know, if it takes a minute, this is gonna take 1 hour to make 1 component, and 4 hours because we need 4 components. Yeah, okay, this is a little bit slow, but I don't think HV capacitors can be charged faster than, I think it's like 4000 FE per tick. Yeah, it even says here, 4096 FE per tick. I don't think they can transfer power faster. Now, the problem with these is that... Oh, if I hurry, give me that, give me a comparator. There, is it full? It's not full, and... Yeah. Oh, now it's power 15. So sometimes it's power 14 when it's fully charged, sometimes it's power 15. Oh, it's strange. But I was thinking, like, before I build a redstone contraption for this, I was thinking that there might actually be an easier way of doing this, and I was thinking to use a destructor. This is a destructor. It's part of refined storage. Now we'll just connect the destructor here. I guess I need some cables as well, like this. and now it's sucked up whatever was there, but this is not exactly what I wanted. I think like right now it is configured to just suck up any block that appears in front of it. Yes, it just sucks it into the storage. So if I do a whitelist here and put it down, so it shouldn't be sucking in the stone, and if I add the stone here, it will suck in the stone. Yeah, everything absolutely makes sense. No surprises here. So now I have this HV capacitor, and this is the fully charged. Let me make another one just to confuse myself, and this is not charged. But this one doesn't have any tags, right? And this one has tags that it's not showing me. But it's showing me that this has some NBT and this doesn't have NBT. So I'm thinking that maybe the NBT data of this fully charged capacitor, that was the fully charged capacitor, will prevent this from sucking it up until it is fully charged. Let's find out if it works that way. Well, it didn't get sucked up just yet, so good news. Now let's just wait for it to fully charge so we can see if it gets sucked up when it's fully charged. We're getting close, and 4 million. Yes! So this is working exactly the way I want it to work. Perfect. I'm gonna build some infrastructure now. I'll be right back. But I have a clear idea for how to make this whole thing work. And I think this is the simplest thing to start with. Just a giant, massive mechanical crafter. It shouldn't be too complicated to set it up. I'm just thinking that I'm gonna use a mechanical arm to pick up, the capacitors that need to be put into all these different slots. And I just need to test if it's possible to reach everywhere with one arm, or if I'm gonna need multiple arms. Actually, I don't even know if one arm can have 80 targets, because it's gonna end up being 80 targets, but this is where the capacitors are gonna end up, so I'm gonna do something like this. This is take items from depot and... no, don't take. Deposit. Oh, and there is a lot of clicking, but I'm just gonna do edges here. Actually, I just need to do the corners to make sure that this works. Yeah, those are corners. Those are corners. Yeah, I think that might actually work. So if I just put this thing here now... No, it said range limitation, so that did not work. Can I put it closer? I kind of want to have one item gap here so I can deposit items into the middle slot with something else. Okay, well, it should be possible to put it closer. And the answer seems to be no. Even this arm, when it's this close, cannot reach any of the corners. I don't know what the range on it is, but this is definitely not it. Maybe I could do this without mechanical arms or in some different way? Maybe I should leave this problem to last until I know how I'm gonna be handling the capacitors. Yes, that's the right idea. Okay, let's interrupt this part of the project and do the charging of the capacitors instead. Oh, I just had a thought. It might not be a good idea to use my central storage system for the charged capacitors, because that's gonna get mixed up with uncharged capacitors. And for this one, I was actually thinking that since I have done everything with create crafters, I mean like mechanical crafters or mixers, maybe I should just use refined storage for all of this. Should I set up a... Oh, this actually solves both problems. This solves the problem of distributing everything into the autocrafter. And yeah, it solves all the problems. I know what I'm gonna do. I am going to make a completely separate storage system for the fully charged capacitors. That way we can use the separate storage system to fill in all the autocrafters, and we don't need to use the mechanical arm at all. Yeah, let's try that. Alright, it should be as simple as this. So first I need to create a blueprint for the HV capacitor. There we go. Put it into the crafter in my standard storage system. Now I need just one HV capacitor to kickstart the whole process. There we go. Thank you. And now we go to this room where I have created this very compact, secondary storage system where I'm only storing HV capacitors. Now we need to do something magical that I only found out today. It was actually when I was filling in the storage for painting the ceiling that I found out about this. And this is how to magically craft items. And I don't actually know if it works with the constructor, but we will see. So it is one of the upgrades, and it is a crafting upgrade. And I think if I put the crafting upgrade into this, it will automatically demand crafting from the storage system to craft the HV capacitors, and it did. So yeah, this is it. This is our capacitor charger. This will keep running, I guess, until this thing gets full, until I have 1,000 capacitors, because this is like 1K storage block, right? I don't think I will need more. So while this is running now, I can... But, I mean, this is also trivial. This is gonna be a silly short episode, because everything is so super simple. I mean, crafting with refined storage I already knew was ridiculously simple, but I didn't expect to do all the experiments in 2 minutes. That's funny. Oh well. I mean, the only thing I need to do now is to connect lots of exporters to that thing, and that's it. We're pretty much done. Okay, let's just set up the rest of the infrastructure here, but I don't think we're gonna struggle with this project. This seems way too simple. And I actually wonder, can I do this? Oh, no, that's not what I wanted to do. Do I have to click shift? Yeah, no. Okay, that didn't work. Wow, we have one problem. I can't place these automatically. I have to place 81 exporters by hand. Oh, what a horrible problem. This is way too easy. Alright, and I think the only thing that is left to do here is to just set up which items I need to export. And I don't actually need to do anything like any NBT data filtering on this thing, because the only HV capacitors in this storage system are the fully charged ones, right? We're not putting anything else into this system. Well, other than I did actually put in 4 ultimate components. And the middle one here, the middle crafter, yes, it already has 1 ultimate component. We can barely see it between the cracks here, but it is there. It's already been exported. So yeah, the only thing that's going to exist in this system are things that are going to be going into this mass crafter. So there is really nothing else to it than wait for all the HV capacitors to charge. And also, of course, I need to populate all the exporters, but I am doing that a little bit faster than the charger is charging them, so I don't think that's going to be an issue either. Are we actually have we exported any of the capacitors? Yes. It kind of looks weird with the exporters, but there's some Z fighting between the texture of the exporter and the HV capacitor, but it's definitely working. I think we should have, yeah, we have lots of HV capacitors here. Yes, I went AFK for a while, and I deliberately left this exporter unconfigured. So now I have filled everything in. Are we crafting? Yes, we are crafting. I wanted to do this manually because when the craft fails, we could potentially lose all the capacitors and they would despawn if this happened when I was AFK. So I wanted to see this happen live. But everything seems more or less correct. Kablam? Maybe? No sound? Nothing? Ah, it just worked. Awesome. Haha. We've got the ultimate catalysts. We need 4 of them to make the creative capacitor, but that should happen relatively soon. I'm not exactly sure how long time this took, maybe an hour or so. It's not the fastest thing in the world, but I've got time. I can AFK here. Alright, I've been AFK for, I think, 4 hours now, and as you can see with the clipboard, I haven't actually been AFK, I have been actually watching my colony, but this stuff should run regardless of me being here or not, and I'm actually noticing something funny here. Charging the capacitors has been sucking so much energy that this controller is not getting enough energy, and yeah, you can see, like, it's running out of power right now, and as soon as we stop charging, it gets enough energy. I'm assuming that this thing is running at full speed. Yeah, this is running at... Well, it's not delivering enough power to actually charge the capacitor. So I know that the diesel has been running as well, but I'm assuming that we ran out of something. We probably ran out of seeds to process. No, we're not running out of seeds, so we did run out of this thing. No, we didn't. Why isn't the diesel running then? Strange. This capacitor is actually not being empty? Oh... No, this flux plug is supposed to be sucking energy. I don't know. I have no idea. our power problems are gonna end right now because I'm assuming that we have made enough of whatever the component that was called Ultimate Catalyst, I think. Yeah, hi. We have 4 of them, so let's... I'm pretty sure it was like this. And yay! And no fanfare, nothing. Quest completed. Hey, it was a challenge quest. It's supposed to be fireworks and explosions. And yay, everything amazing. There we go. Creative capacitor. So I'm assuming that the way it works is that I can just go here and basically just dump it next to like this plug, because why not? Because this plug is sucking power into my flux network. So, yes, and all my flux network storages are getting completely filled up. I wonder if I can actually use this capacitor to charge the new capacitor. It doesn't really matter. It's no big deal. I'll be AFK a lot more in the next few days, especially since I need to finish my colony because those guys are taking a long time to build, and there is a lot to talk about in the colony. So yeah, we have solved all the power problems and we have finished yet another challenge today. This was a good day's work. But anyway, that will be enough from me today. Thanks a lot for watching and have a nice unlimited power day. Bye.